So today we're going to look at how to convert between metric, also referred to as SI units, and imperial units. In the textbook, it gives you a couple of approximations that you should be familiar with that we are going to be using to look at how to convert between metric units and imperial units. So there's two tables, one that shows you when you have 1 millimeter and how to convert it into inches, a centimeter into inches, a meter into inches, which would be 39 inches, 1 meter in terms of feet, 1 kilometer in terms of miles. And then going the other way, what is 1 inch approximately in terms of centimeters, 1 foot in terms of centimeters and meters, what is a yard in terms of centimeters and meters, and what is a mile in terms of in kilometers. So we're going to use this along with your reference for imperial measurement. Now in the previous section it talked about how to convert 1 foot in terms of inches, 1 yard in terms of feet, and also in terms of inches, and a mile in terms of yard and feet. All of these things are going to come together now, and we're going to work through some examples that showcase how to change from imperial to metric and from metric to imperial. So the first example we're going to look at is converting from a mixed unit of imperial into centimeters. So the first thing you need to do is figure out how to convert your 10 feet 2 inches into a single unit. Now either you write it as all in feet or you write it all in terms of inches. My suggestion is to write it all in terms of inches. It makes it a little bit easier for you. So I want to figure out how many inches is going to be equivalent to my 10 feet. So I'm just going to worry about my 10 feet right now, and then I'll add on my 2 inches at the end. So 10 feet is how many inches? Well, we do have a unit conversion for feet to inches. We know that 1 foot is 12 inches. So 1 foot, 12 inches. Now we want to isolate for our number of inches. So we can multiply both sides by our 12 inches here. Multiply by 12 inches. Whatever you do to one side of the equation, do the other side. 12 inches and 12 inches will cancel out, and then we're left with x inches is going to be 10 feet times by 12 inches and divided by 1 feet. That eliminates our feet, and then we're working in terms of inches. So ultimately 10 times 12 is going to be our number of inches. So 10 inches is going to, our x inches is actually going to be 120 inches. So 10 feet 2 inches is going to be 120 inches plus 2 inches, which is 122 inches. Now that we have this in a solid 1 unit format, we can then convert into centimeters. This is when we're going to want to use our approximations that were listed for us above. So what we're going to want to use in our approximation that 1 inch is approximately 2.5 centimeters. So again, we have 122 inches. We want to figure out how many centimeters that's going to be. So we have a ratio of 1 inch to 2.5 centimeters. Again, we want to isolate for just our one term here. So to eliminate our 2.5 centimeters on the denominator, we can multiply numerator and denominator by 2.5 centimeters to both sides of the equation. It will eliminate this term, and then in terms of units, our inches and inches are going to disappear. So then we'll be working in terms of centimeters. So 122 times by 2.5 is going to equal our x centimeters. So our x is going to be, in this case, 305 centimeters. So now in this example, we're now going to convert from metric to imperial. The difference here, we have a mixed form here, as well as we want our answer in a mixed form as well. So we have to do some thinking about how we're going to do this. Again, we want to convert our initial one from meters and centimeters into one term. So my suggestion is to convert them in terms of centimeters. So we're going to have 410 centimeters You should all know how to do that conversion. And then we want to convert them in terms of feet and inches. Now again, we are going to want to convert our centimeters to imperial first, and then work it back into a mixed form. So we know that we have 410 centimeters, and we want it to be approximately so many inches. Now the ratio that we have here, we can either use our 1 inch to 2.5 centimeters, or we can go the other way. So I'm going to use that one just because we've got 1 inch, 2.5 centimeters. Again, we want to isolate here for our x, our unknown. So in this case, we just actually multiply by 1 inch, cancel, cancel to both sides, 1 inch. Our centimeter units technically cancel out, and now we have an answer in terms of inches. So all we have to do is actually calculate 410 divided by 2.5 to get an approximate value in terms of inches. So in this case, 410 divided by 2.5 is 164 inches. So that's our x value. Now 164 inches is great for in terms of just inches, but now I want to convert it in terms of feet and inches. So we have to go back to the idea of how inches and feet are related. 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. If I take my inches and I divide it by 12, then it'll tell me approximately how many feet I have. When I divide 164 divided by 12, I'm going to get a repeating decimal, 13.6 repeating. So the whole number portion, that tells me that I have definitely 13 feet. The 0.6 is not in terms of inches, but it's definitely not a full foot. It's 0.6 of a foot. So now we have to make sure the 0.6 repeating, how do I write that back in terms of inches? So this is going to tell me my remaining inches. Now there's a couple ways that you can do this. If I know there's definitely 13 feet, 13 times 12 will tell me how many inches it takes to make those 13 feet. So 13 by 12 is going to give me 156. That means the remaining amount of inches is what's left over. That would be the 0.6 repeating portion. So if I take 164 and I minus off the 156, you're going to get 8 inches. So that's your remaining 8 inches that are left over. That's the 0.6 repeating. Now 0.6 repeating is the same thing as 6 over 9. So you can also write this as a fraction. 6 over 9 of 12 inches is going to actually equal to your 8 inches as well. So there's a way of working with fractions, or you can look at the whole portion and figure out the remaining inches. Ultimately, what you have is 13 feet and 8 inches for your mixed format, which is equivalent to your 164 inches.